started a business when I was 13 years old, 20 now. Developed to be a car detailing and paint protection film facility in the south. I'm a young looking person. I did 100 and something emails, and at the bottom of every one I put PS, just so you know. 15 years old, when you drop the car off, people will have to move the cars, this and that. And if you do start a business, is that you will have to sacrifice. There is choice, but to an extent there is often no choice but to sacrifice things.
You may have had some doubts or anything like that along the way, thinking,
big time.
So this ain't working, don't know what to do.
I was like struggling, like trying to get the odd 40-50 pound here and there. At that point, if you had 10 quid in your pocket and you wanted something like that, I would have done it. It was definitely like a point in the business that was very kind of close to opening up the door and thinking, I wouldn't mind if this was the last time I opened the door.
Guys, CEO Cast, the place where you can get your insight, inspiration and knowledge to start your own business. Today we are with Alex Chapman, who owns his own detailing company and also the head detailer over here. Alex, you want to tell us a bit about your place?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Alex Chapman. I started a business when I was 13 years old and basically 20 now. Developed to be a car detailing and paint protection film facility in the south, becoming super popular, and now obviously expanding into different areas and bits like that.
Yeah, so I mean, the main reason why I wanted to interview you was basically because not only am I passionate about cars, but the fact that what you just said, you're 20 years old,
yes,
and you've built this whole establishment. I don't know if you can see behind, I'll put some shots over it, but I mean, you've built this whole establishment at 20 years old.
Yes.
How have you done that?
It's a very good question. To be fair, it all just happens.
Put it on the spot.
Basically, as a general kind of background, I used to do £6 car washes from my driveway.
This is when you were 13 years old?
Yes, when I was 13, parents' driveway, bits like that. I would say the first initial investment was a £73 pressure washer that I still owe my dad for. So if he's watching, then he knows that I've got a bit of that. Used to do basically very basic car cleaning on there, went up to T-cut specials, that kind of stuff, like £20 here and there. Start to do more research, work with a few other detailers, very grateful for that, and then basically kind of researched the best people to network with and bits like that from a young age. Started doing videos and used it as it became a bit of a popular thing at school, if that makes sense, especially in like year 9, 10, that kind of thing.
What's that, just videos of you?
Yeah, videos and bits like that. I actually deleted them off YouTube at one point. I wish I didn't have. I should have kept them.
You're going to see them or you could have seen them.
Yeah, exactly, that's the thing. So, but then basically, long story short, kind of cut into different car detailing. We had a second-hand car at home. It was my dad's, and basically I bought a machine polisher off my cousin Michael, 75 quid. And used this, and the first car I worked on, it was my dad's. I just thought, kind of like, give it a go. Came up alright, started doing bits of polishing.
So you practiced the polishing and all that side of the aspect?
Just literally on the driveway. Got some tips here and there, but the first kind of tries were just taught myself, see how it goes. There's always that scare of burning through the paint, but often you'll be alright when you start. Obviously now it's a bit different, but
see, me as someone who can't detail cars or knows nothing about detailing, I didn't even know that you could burn through the paint.
So I suppose it's from research. I used to love watching, still do, a bloke called Larry from Ammo NYC, huge detailing channel in the US. Basically kind of a great aspiration for what we want to do in the UK here, especially with kind of different media guys on board now for YouTube. But basically then I went over to a car wrapping company and basically situated myself in there.
So how old were you at that time? Were you
so I'd say I was probably 16, that was 16 to 18. So paid a monthly payment, and basically just started offering the business from out there. There's obviously different stories and stuff from. At one point, I actually did decide almost to not do the detailing anymore and go into car sales, but that idea kind of flipped on itself.
Yeah, I mean, if you look on your website, you say it there where you started buying cars, selling them.
Yeah, so basically I tried to do something called virtual car agency, and at the time I didn't think sale or return was a thing, so I thought I had this niche, and I kind of had a little chat with a friend, and it was a bit more difficult than I thought, kind of thing, and at age, you can't get insured on the cars and bits like that. But I thought the idea was brilliant at the time. I thought I was going to take over the world, and then I put pen to paper kind of thing. And it was a good idea. It still would work. Sale return works really well with car dealerships, but it just wasn't the right thing. So basically rebranded from a company called Valeting to AWC, which is just my initials. But yeah, that's basically the kind of story from there. And then from when I was over the road, I was in sixth form at that point, so I was starting to kind of become busy. Still really trying to wrap, especially in the winters, it would be slow. So you'd be trying to, I remember texting like a good customer and saying, like, mate, like, I need desperate for the work this week.
Yeah.
And I took someone on who I paid a kind of daily rate, and I promised him 3-4 days this week, and I had no work in. And I was like struggling, like trying to get the odd £40-50 here and there, the odd £20 valet. Like, it doesn't matter what I was priced at. At that point, if you had 10 quid in your pocket and you wanted something done, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Obviously things do change a bit, but that was how it kind of started, like friends of friends, those kind of cars.
Just a quick one, which we'll talk about later on anyway.
Yes.
You said in the winter.
Yeah.
How would you find business in the winter?
Interesting point. This year, at this current point at the moment, we are the busiest we've ever been.
Including summer?
Yeah, so busiest we've ever been, kind of booking 4 weeks, like fully solid booked in advance, which is like unknown for us, especially in the winter. Like, I speak with quite a lot of other detailers.
Yeah.
And I do know someone who's also young, called Harry from ATD Automotive. And he's actually at a very similar point where he's starting to get busy over winter, which is cool.
Yeah.
But back then, it never used to be like that. So obviously over the time, researching, knowledge, networking, that kind of thing, different advertising and marketing, and most importantly, referrals have brought us a lot of business in the winter, which is really good. Because summer, people see swirl marks and bits like that in their cars. If it's sunny, you drive your car more. If it's in the winter, people don't tend to bother. So
that's what's it. Most people store their cars in the winter or something like that. They don't drive it. Especially if they've got the DB11 down, or sorry, DBS, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and like those kind of cars, that's the thing. But it's quite cool now that it's almost opened up a new market that people are driving their cars more. And also, it leads on to the fact of financing cars. So a lot of people, financing a car it's got that massive, like, shouldn't finance a car bits like that. Financing a car can be one of the best things in the world if you do it correctly. Like, straight out, I finance mine because it's the first car I financed, but it gives you that other kind of cash flow bits to then invest in the business.
Was that your first car, by the way?
No.
Alex Chapman, what is it, sorry?
It's a Boxster GTS.
Boxster GTS, and you're 20 years old.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing.
So basically what I'm saying is that a lot of people now, you can walk into a dealer, put a £200 deposit down and get a M2, anything like that, for £400 or £500 a month.
Yeah.
Now that means that these clients have got a lot more disposable income, I find.
Because they're not putting it all up front.
That's it. They can kind of be putting that aside for protecting the new vehicle. So we found that that's why we do so many brand new cars, because, like I said, it's never a bad thing to finance a car. But I think that brings in a lot of kind of new market, whereas when we started, financing a car probably wasn't as popular. And it used to obviously be a different market of cars, say £0 to £5 grand kind of market, whereas now it's we kind of specialise in under £100,000, but also it's really nice when other cars that are over that come in. Yeah,
so essentially what you do, you offer a package, which is new car protection, isn't it? So as soon as someone buys a car.
That's it, So basically we do used cars and new cars. One thing that is quite interesting, since you've come in, it's kind of taken me out of the business and looked at the story.
I appreciate your time.
That's what I know at all. When I was younger, I always tried to get my head around, like, is this polish going in this package? Finally, we've got like a package where it's used cars, new cars, and it's finally sorted. But some of that can be like a proper head, like, swell. So basically, for new cars, we offer protection, ceramic coatings, paint protection film, and those kind of things to protect the new vehicle. Also do it for used cars, but then used cars, they have their own packages where it's like a correction, get it back to like new, removing like tar spots and iron and bits like that. And those kind of general things.
So you said earlier how you first started with a different brand, and then you rebranded to AWC.
That's it.
You also mentioned how, I don't know if you guys understood, you might not have. Alex used to essentially take over a corner in a wrapping. A wrapping facility in somewhere else. At what age did you come into this unit?
So
when did you start taking it?
Always obviously like dreamt of having, if that's the right word, a unit myself. I knew there was a lot of cost involved. Now I've always kind of grown up as be aware of the costs kind of thing. which probably comes from my dad's point of view, which I've also learned to kind of always don't be spending like loads of money on things that you don't need, but invest in the right kind of things.
Yeah.
So I think it was March 2017, which feels like quite a long time ago, I kind of started looking.
Yeah.
Now there was a few here and there, but the prices were like extortionate, and I just basically we couldn't afford it. But there was a unit that's 2 down from here, which is a classic old industrial unit, dirty inside. It needed about 10 to 15 grand spent on it.
Yeah.
Now, that was basically the best option that I looked at. And the guy who owned that unit owned this as well. And he said, we're going to go and put ours up for rent soon. And I said, can I have a look inside this one? So I had a look, and it was like game changing.
Yeah. Was that the exact condition?
Yeah, it was like they just spent 90 something grand renovating it. I came up here into like a glass like office. It was like a showroom downstairs. Yeah, and I was like, this is like insane.
Yeah.
But he told me the price, and I was like, it was such like literally the price we were paying was what we were doing in revenue, let alone profit.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
So it was like pretty much a no-go. So I remember it was summer, so I was down the beach with family and brother and bits like that, and he said, bring like an Excel spreadsheet. We did the numbers, and this unit would take we basically worked it out on a 10-15 grand investment, and this needing nothing, and the different monthly costs, and this was like double.
That one needed 10-15 grand because you need to renovate it.
Whereas this one needed basically nothing, but it was also double the rental. And it was, I can't actually remember the figure, but it would basically take about 4 or 5 years, and we'd have to like double all this and that for this one to even break even.
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, that's a bugger. But when I kind of want something, if that makes sense, you kind of make it happen. So
push for it even more.
It was 6 months after, basically moved into this one.
Yeah.
So it was
after we
initially saw the numbers and bits like that and all that kind of stuff. Moved in. That was a long old process, like leases and bits like that. Obviously, unfortunately, at school they don't teach you any of that.
Yeah, that's one thing bad about school.
With limited time and bits like that. Obviously wanting to move into the unit as soon as possible, that was the plan. I remember putting on Instagram 4 days to go, 3 days to go, 2 days to go, and that was May the 1st. I think we actually moved in here in June the 6th in 2018.
Yeah.
So it just shows that things just take ages. I was running around, I remember one night with my dad trying to get a solicitor, because we didn't have the funds, a solicitor that would not charge out the roof thousands and thousands to literally sign this paperwork.
Yeah.
And we got to this bloke's house at about 10 at night, and he said, I'm not in this specific thing that they need to sign it, and I was gutted. So then we went up in here and there, and I was so excited to move into this place. I remember going up to, the lease was currently in London, and the guys who owned this in Rochford needed it, and it was all signed and ready to go. As soon as they got it, I could have the keys, and it would take 2 days for them to post it, or I could go up on the train, pick it up, and then come back. So I went up that day, picked it up, and then dropped it straight there, and basically moved in from there. And it was it's game changing. You learn so much. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but different things like setting up Wi-Fi's, insurance, equipment, things like that you need. It's a massive eye opener for
all of which sounds generic stuff, but when you're doing it first-hand experience yourself, it's completely different.
I always made the thing of like sorting out Wi-Fi was one of the biggest struggles. It's such an easy thing, but when you're, especially when I was labour on, like hands on, and you're doing that 8 hours a day, and then you're coming up here trying to sort all those other bits, it's a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, when you're trying to make your business boom straight away.
100%. But it's worth it was worth doing all those different bits. We had a massive list of things I just didn't want to do that were boring. But
so when you got it, did you have any regret, or when you got it thinking, oh no, I should have got it, made the wrong choice?
The first month was a bit like when the first kind of the rent deposit came out and the rent. I was like, we better get some cars in. After that, I've certainly never looked back. But it's because I've always I feel like I've been fully in a business from when I've been in here. It's hard to look back at what it was like before. So don't get me wrong, I was obviously extremely grateful for this kind of position and bits like that, and the unit and the for those guys who rented it out and those kind of things. But because we're obviously in here all day, every day, often 6 days, 7 days a week, you kind of forget, and it's when other people come in, for example, like yourself this morning, you're like, this unit's like wicked.
Yeah, no, it's wicked. If you guys see
it's like, it's...
We should come down here. Where are you located again? I don't know if you mentioned that.
We are South End on Sea, so if you want the direct address, obviously.
Just go on the website, Instagram, stuff like that, you'll see it there. But yeah, now proper nice message. You've got to give it to Alex. 20 years old, he's made this. But you actually mentioned an interesting topic there regarding school.
Yes.
Now, we didn't exactly talk about this off camera, but you actually brought it to my head. So you said school doesn't really teach you anything in terms of business.
Yeah, school.
How did you find it? Like,
it's a tough one. There's a lot of people, no names, but the school is, you shouldn't go to school with this. Like, if you want to start up a business, like, don't worry about school.
Yeah.
To an extent, I agree, but you also learn a lot of other things from school. I know it sounds stupid, but social skills, being around people,
100%.
anything like that.
Teaches you how to network in your life.
Like being in position, like not kind of being rude and bits like that, or to a teacher or something like that. And it keeps you, for me, I never regret anything that I did at school.
It always keeps you grounded, doesn't it?
And like, I remember things like when a newspaper article came, I did a newspaper article and it was like front page and all this, and then I went into school and you get like that, like, people are like speaking stuff. That was quite nice to kind of see, because sometimes when you're young, like, no one takes you seriously, so it's quite nice to actually see some genuine like thanks here and there.
Did the teachers see anything that you were doing back then?
Yeah, so teachers is quite funny. I mean, some teachers, if they would ever watch this, they'd probably think I'm a pain in the arse, but I did actually drop them an email. We were running an event, obviously this will come out after, but this Friday. And some of them are going to pop down and bits like that, which would be quite cool. Especially the ones that I remember being kicked out of some classes by like an English teacher. And I actually saw them on my 18th birthday in Lee. And it was quite funny seeing them after that. And they were saying like how well and all that they had done and all that kind of stuff, which is quite cool. But yeah, I think school is, like you said, it's a tough one. When we were over the road, I remember I was talking about that La Ferrari that we did. That was
and I was talking about that.
Finish school at say like 4, get down there for 5, and work on it like the whole night. Lock up at 4, and then straight to work at 9. Like that sounds. If that was every day, you'd be dead. Like it wouldn't be possible. But I do use that as a good example of kind of how sometimes I was so motivated about doing detailing that I would pretty much throw any plans out the window.
But that, as well as that being said about school, also you started this business quite young. So how you found it in terms of your social life? Because around this age now, 20, let's just say it's enjoying a lot of people, let's just say that out there partying, the socialising, out for dinners, all that stuff.
Recently, basically, I do business coaching, which is with a company called Action Coach. Got a business coach called Mark. Started that about a year ago, and I often find that like coaching's got a bit of you do like business coaching. It is literally game changing what business coaching will do. It will completely set your goals, your networking, like any plans you need to do with marketing, bits like that, and give you that kind of like, that's not really what word, backhand, but like assistance to push you through and make
it's
sure
like a mentor.
Literally. And it's really important. There's not like an F1 driver or a tennis coach or a football player that doesn't have a coach. So in business, I always used to think, why would you need a coach? But you can really definitely take some benefits from business coaching, which is really important.
Because they've been through, they've done it.
Literally.
Essentially, they're just trying to help you in the
100%. And if you can learn by not doing some of their mistakes and bits like that, you'll be onto a great start. And I find that from like a young point of view as well, that's always really helpful. To be able to see like, he did that at that age, don't do that. Obviously, because I'm quite young, the world literally is your oyster. There's no like I saw in a video recently, there is literally no limit to what every human is the same. There's no limit to, yes, there's connections and bits like that, but world is your oyster.
Exactly,
so go for it. But in kind of relation to school, I think I wouldn't have changed it, to be fair. I stuck at school through sixth form. I did come out with a U in economics after working for 2 years, but those kind of things, like,
is that because you put your time into the business?
So I actually wrote a bit of a business plan on the back of my economics paper, and I didn't actually fill it out, to be fair, the paper. I think I filled out one. And that wasn't to be like, oh, look at him, he's the... No, I just didn't have energy to go into that. But I'm trying to speak to the local school about why school's important, but also why it's not be all and end all. So I'm trying to do some more public speaking and bits like that, personally for my own confidence, and also to assist other people in saying that these are the struggles that I've been through in basically business from the age of 13 to 20, and how you can avoid those, and also how you might be able to start up your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially why I set up these videos, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, schools, like you said, it's essential. You've got to get your maths, English, all that stuff. But they don't teach you, once you get into the world, once you finish school, once you get into the world, they don't teach you stuff like that. How do you apply for a bank loan? How do you apply to get a business? All that stuff.
100%.
And that's essentially what I'm making these videos for people who are young or anyone who's starting a business for that matter.
And that's the thing, it's a good point, those kind of things. I remember when I was, I think it was 15, and I said to my dad, I've been running I wouldn't call it a business, Chapo's Valeting was £5 car washes here and there.
You're still running something.
I'm still running something, but it wasn't like invoicing and all that kind of stuff. So I said to my dad, look, I'm going to try all this starting up a business, like legit kind of HMRC, all those kind of things. And he was like, oh no, like once you're in, you can't kind of get out of it and all those kind of things. And I didn't have a clue. I was on a website just creating a business at the age of 14, 15. And like I said, I've never been taught anything like that. I remember doing my first tax return and didn't really have a clue. The numbers were right, but you don't get taught those kind of things. And without the funds at that time for an accountant or anything like that, it is give it a go, see how it goes, and go from there.
Okay, yeah, Alex, so you mentioned essentially how, I was talking about your social life and how you kind of balance the two in the sense that, because you're quite young, a lot of people around this age, between 17 and 20 years old, whatever it may be, they'll probably be going partying or out for dinners, stuff like that, but how have you, because you run your own business,
yeah, of course, how's it different? I definitely wouldn't say I've had it hard, if that makes sense. I still, not partying wise, but still kind of try and get out for like the odd breakfast here and there, a bit of dinner, catching up with friends that I haven't seen for ages. I'd say that is a major thing. If my advice for if you do start a business is that you'll have to sacrifice. There is choice, but to an extent, there is often no choice but to sacrifice things.
Yeah.
So
especially if you want it to go far in life.
Exactly. Yeah. So some things, for example, if we have like a plan to go to dinner or something with a friend at say 6-7 o'clock, and you're working, your hours are not 9 to 5. They can be 9 to 5 until say 4 o'clock, and then something goes not something goes wrong, but something needs enhancing more. Paintwork reacts differently, the wheels, you need to find a locking wheel nut or something like that.
You just need to do something along the lines that
you'll often be delayed by hours and hours. And once you get into that mood, unfortunately, there is a mood I find with business owners, not that they'll probably own up to it, but it is almost like your baby kind of thing. So you look after and cherish everything within your business, and that's why it's quite important that we try and install that into staff as well. So making sure that it's not just like a 9 to 5 job, and sometimes there is kind of more opportunities within the workplace to pursue.
And speaking of staff, so in 2017, that's when you opened this place essentially. Tell me about tell us about your size of operations, so how you started then, and
basically, so 2013, when I was 13 till 2015, 2016, it was one man band. Labour, that kind of stuff. Really loved it, researching the weekends and all that kind of stuff. Then when I was over the road at a wrapping place, I took someone on called Charlie, who still works here. I think that was 2.5 years ago, as a detailer, which took me what I thought would be, I say it every time, a tiny bit more out of the business. Which worked to an extent. I could do a few bits here and there extra, but then obviously took on a bit more workload, and that's obviously then when we came, just before we came over here, I took on someone else as well, who was a car detailer as well, and that all went really well. And then basically it got to a point where we need to move over here. So the size of operation was basically myself and then 2 others. Various different reasons, like with everything. One of the chaps basically left, and then we didn't take anyone on for about 6-7 months. So I was back on the labour. And that was quite hard intensive, because it was the workload was getting more. There was more paperwork, more stuff to do up here, more getting those leads generation,
you also need to do
the stuff. So that was a pain. But then basically when we do paint protection film, Paul comes in and does the paint protection film. So that's another kind of person. And also now 3 months ago, I think, took on Jack, who is the operations manager here.
Yeah, wicked.
So he basically, the role kind of isn't quite in place yet, but he's kind of will take over my job of meeting customers and bits like that, so I can concentrate on my marketing or where I want to put the business. But I always say, like I said before, you would take on someone and say, I have more time for this and that. Yeah. But because you've taken them on, you need to get more work in. You need to make sure their bills are being paid and all those bits. So you often work harder and more when someone else comes on. But that's good because it builds the business.
It's short growth, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you take
that's the thing. I think it's it gives, like you said, it gives more of a scale of the business. Customers understand when they drop a car off. One thing I majorly struggled with from say 15 to 17, I'm a young looking person, so if I didn't know them, every single email, I actually found out the other day, I think I did 100 and something emails, and at the bottom of every one I put PS, just so you know, I am 15 years old when you drop the car off. My dad will have to move the cars, this and that. And for me, it would just destroy me because the professional image was gone at that point.
Yeah.
But they would be like, wow, that's insane. Like, your emails are so professional, bits like that. And I'd just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, some people find it amazing, like the fact that. And the thing is, they'll probably support you more by dropping off their
supercar. That's the thing.
Like
I think at one point, as soon as we moved in here, the image was just game changing.
Yeah.
People now drop their cars, and from YouTube and bits, they almost... they're like, I've seen you on YouTube, that kind of thing. They give you that trust and respect that sometimes you don't get from some clients, which is a bit of a shame. But
I think what you guys do,
there's only one or two.
Yeah, I think what you guys do essentially is just quite different to what everyone else does in that aspect.
Yeah,
is that when people pick up the cars, I've seen on your Instagram, you have like another collection day almost.
Yeah,
you have the sign there with the name.
Yeah, so it's basically there's a lot of. Don't get me wrong, we'd never ever put any other detailer down because the detailing network is starting to grow in the UK as a point where we recommend other people. Some people travel 3-4 hours to get to here, but if you're Scotland, we would recommend someone in Scotland. It's not like there's so much business out there.
It's like a team all around.
Yeah, you don't need to steal business and bits like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, to an extent, you can be best friends with someone if you want as a detailer, but you're still going to hustle and make sure that who's getting in the most work is a competition at the end of the day. But what we were saying basically about professional image, people can travel a few hours and stuff to get down here.
Yeah.
But the thing we try to do different is from the start, the different designs and stuff that customers get, like a welcome pack sent in the post, like a product catalogue with loads of all the information and bits like that. Which are designed by a friend from school, Taylor, who does a great job. But it's really important, we find, that not just to do what you're doing. So if they're paying for a 2-stage, don't just do the 2-stage. Not as in don't give them a free ceramic coating, but give them a 2-stage, give them a welcome pack as well, so they feel welcomed into the business.
Like a customer experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they come and collect the car, you've got like a collection pack, you know exactly what you've had done. We'll talk through the work. You've got an iPad displaying your name, what you've had done, that kind of thing. And it's all just about having the lights placed in the right position, doing a good job. You can never ever run a business if the quality of service isn't good. And I can tell you so many businesses that we've seen that, like no names mentioned, but the quality of work just isn't there.
Yeah.
And obviously in the long term, you just can't run a business like that. Don't get me wrong, no business is ever going to produce 150% work day in, day out, day in. But we are 99%, and if there was ever any like issues and bits like that, it's always like straight with the customer.
Yeah.
And no worries at all, like this, that, and that.
Sorry, Karen.
No.
I was gonna say, for you guys, so if you guys have been following my episodes, just notice how every single business I've spoken to so far has always said something about customer experience or customer service. So, I mean, that's basically one of the biggest things that goes for
key. Customer service is key. Following up clients and bits like that. I'm not going to go into everything that we do because that's obviously, like I said, you can tell other detailers, but you got to keep some things a bit secret. But like you said, customer service is key. I had a Focus RS before, and I took it to Mount Tune, and I always remember the experience there was phenomenal. You give the keys over. Ryan, who might actually watch this, Ryan Sinclair.
Yeah.
he basically did like the kind of showing around Malmtune. They've got an awesome shop, an amazing kind of facility where you can just sit down, watch TV for hours. There's different bits, free drinks, this and that. Small things that when you think about it don't cost much to do. A coffee for £1 or something like that. And I've sent so many people and tried to say like, you've got to go there and just spend the money and have your car serviced. It's just enjoyment. It just brings you the factor, like, it just makes you feel like even if you're not going to spend money, you still want to go there just to do something. Exactly. You just want to hang out. And that's what I found. As soon as I left, I thought the service was £200-300, whatever it was. Yeah. And 3 months later, I was like, I want to get my car kind of serviced again. It didn't need it, but that's often what we try and do here. So sometimes you might not need it, and we'll always assist the customer, say, look, you don't actually need this. You can go for something slightly cheaper. But if you can replicate a service like that and actually give like a quality of service that customers want to come back and they want to see you again, then you're onto it. It's just being honest and like same thing, customer experience and stuff. Definitely, like that. Really key customer service. So you've had this place for open quite some time now. Yes. You must have had some, I'm not saying you must have, but you might have had some doubts or anything like that along the way, thinking, big time. So this ain't working, don't know what to do. Yeah. What's there is massive, with a business, there's often massive highs, but the downs are actually where business coaching helped me a lot. So from a period of, especially this year, March to about June-ish, there was 3 months that were absolutely awful from a personal point of view. Really anxious. Like waking up every single morning, like there's this customer, I've got to meet them. I'm never like that. I'm quite a confident kind of person, bits like that. Quite chilled and laid back. So there's a few different things that caused that. I won't mention those, but it was definitely like a point in the business that was very kind of close to opening up the door and thinking, I wouldn't mind if this was the last time I locked the door. And that was every day for 3 months. And to be fair, I always say, if you don't think about quitting once a week, you're not trying hard enough. So the doubts have got to be there, but you've got to be positive enough to think, how can you overcome the doubts? And have a vision as well. So vision is key for us. So like we basically want to become the world's your oyster, like you said, the biggest detailing and paint protection film facility. You could say in Southend or in the UK or in the world. Like if your vision's big enough and you want to be that in the world, then that is literally what you can, if you put the work in, you can become, but also it makes the doubts seem less, and that's really key. But if anyone ever goes through anything like that, I'd definitely say to speak about it, really important, and also to look at the positives, look how far you've come, look at bits like that and think, look, if there's something that's causing this, what can it be, and sort it from the source, if that makes sense. And that's a game changer for me. Yeah. So. No. Okay, so for those of you guys who are watching and maybe thinking, okay, I want to get my car detailed here, or want to get it ceramic coated or anything like that, tell us about sort of products that you do in the price ranges. Yeah, so basically we are a CarPro authorised detailer, so that CarPro company UK division is a bloke called Craig Hall. Yeah. Brilliant guy, always helped me through, like when I was 15, like, oh, should I ceramic coat my car, like this, like that. Now obviously it's a bit different. I think he said we're second biggest in the UK now for buying products and bits, which is unbelievable. But in regards to prices and stuff, things can range from a £30 clean to a £40 clean to a £50, £100 clean. The average detail is about £500 to £750, depending on what coatings you have done. If you go for like an infrared bait, paint protection film, it's brilliant for stopping and preventing stone chips and swirls and scratches because it's self-healing. Like a full front end on average is about $13.50 plus that, and like side skirts can be about £400 or £500, those kind of things. And full cars are about 5,000 ish. Yeah, but the thing is, even though it sounds expensive, it helps you so much in the long run, especially when it comes to stone chips. So when it comes to selling the car. I mean, we were saying earlier, we've got two M2s in, two grey M2s that you might be able to get a clip later off. But the difference, one's a 2017, so it's older, and one's 2018. The 18 plate doesn't have film. This car is mullered. I mean, Jack, who owns it, drives it hard, and it's basically a bit of a track car, but they both get driven hard, and the difference of film makes is fantastic, especially on like cars of anything above like 30 grand. I think it's a no-brainer. Yeah, it helps the value a lot, big time. So obviously AWC, just a quick comparison video just to show you. Basically, this M2 here has got full front end paint protection film, so that's for the bonnet, bumper, headlights, mirrors, A-pillars. and the wings. It's just a quick example, both premium or grey. This is a 17 plate car that we put film on in 2018, so it still had a few chips underneath. This one has no film. It's just going to quickly show the difference between this, which has stayed in pretty mint condition. Don't get me wrong, we've still got to do some cleaning and adaptation still at film. And then this here, which has no film and the front end is completely destroyed with bits like this, huge chips, road rash across the front. And then also kind of deeper gauges, like for example the centre there, some big stone chips, and loads of these little white dots which are not very nice to look at. So it just shows the difference that paint protection film can do on your vehicle.
So we've covered pretty much everything that we can really. One thing that I feel like we haven't covered enough is from day one.
Yep.
How did you get your name out there? And how did you market yourself?
Really hard. So you almost think to yourself, I've done all these things, how are people not like calling me? Why is the phone not ringing? This and that. And we have that even today, like any day. You'll always want to get more calls, more emails and bits like that. Have a good website, key. Do a good job, also key. And also one thing that I can't really say, have a landline number. We still haven't done it, but people, I think the percentage is like 60% call more if it's a landline. So I've still got my mobile number across like the net. So that's something we definitely need to change. But I'd say that's small things, but the main things, like you said, are doing a good job. That's like the first thing. Concentrate on that, research that first, make sure the quality of work's good, and get customer reviews. Customer reviews can change the way people, when they drop off a car, I've seen you do a good job. Jeff told me, that kind of thing. So referrals are key. Another big thing for us was YouTube, Living Life Fast videos. Shout out to Ricky for that.
If you haven't seen this video, be sure to check that out.
Yeah, they were really, really powerful. I think we had, I can't believe the amount of inquiries. The phone didn't stop ringing from 8 till 5 the next day. And some things like that are a bit overwhelming, so they can cause a bit like, can we deal with the business, that kind of thing. But it was a really good game changer, and I feel our name's now kind of on YouTube. To start basically creating our own channel and start hopefully making some good content. Things like this 100%. As well, I really enjoy. So I appreciate coming down.
Glad you enjoy it. But moving on from that. It's kind of along the same lines, but where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
It's a good question. With a vision big enough, I don't know about 5 years, but we obviously want to, if we can meet our vision of becoming huge, that kind of stuff, that's obviously something to do in 5 years. We just actually finished a full day planning of 2020, and if things carry on how they are, it should be an amazing year. So looking to basically take on probably 3 more staff next year. If we can make 4, we'll make 4. So starting up car valeting, basically guy out in a van. We've always wanted to do it.
What, like a mobile one?
Mobile valeting. So not so much looking after like mini valets here and there, but kind of say that Aston in 6 months' time, going to the bloke's house, making sure that's all kind of looked after, decontamination. But also doing other valets and bits like that with that. More car detailers. I won't go into it all, but kind of backroom stuff as well. We just need to make sure we're developing the business so that it's manageable and bits like that. And 2020 should be a wicked year. Just got to keep your head in there. Makes sense, and
you've got to work hard, man. But like I said, brings back to the whole point why I said I was excited to have Alex on the show. He's 20 and he's built this.
It's quite cool, to be fair, because like to me it's like I was saying earlier, when you came in and you're like, oh, it's cool, and saying stuff like that, it takes you out of like the business head.
It puts you in the
you
see what other people are seeing.
Like, it's really good. And it's really important when other people say that as well, because it keeps you kind of pushing forward and motivated, and just making sure you're going to kind of do what you're going to do.
100%, man. Like I said. Right, so we've just got a couple of questions coming for Alex. So we're just going to ask them. So the first one is, if someone wanted to drop the car off for PPF, which is paint protection film, how long would that take?
So paint protection film, let's say you booked in the Monday, you drop the car off 8 a.m. on the Monday, prep the vehicle and the detailing, so the polishing and bits like that, prep work on the Monday, film on the Tuesday, and then also we ceramic coat the film, do all the finishing touches, the wheels, glass, interior, those kind of things, and probably you could collect it Thursday morning. So ideally you're looking at 3 days for that kind of thing. When we did a full car, that was about 4 or 5 days.
That's not too
so about that. And if you go for detailing, it can often be 1 day but collected the next morning.
Yeah.
So we can often do because there's 3 of us, we can often do a 3-day job in 1 day without rushing, which is key.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Another one we got is, how do you say, what makes you different to other people? What makes you stand out from the crowd?
I think the main thing is the customer experience. So not a lot of people do I feel like they don't often do, like the catalogues, taking people through the process from email to taking them through like this process of, okay, meet me, come and see the car, do the quote, drop it off, get something else, like this, that and that, and take them through that whole process instead of cars dropped, which is what it used to be like for me. Cars dropped, update there, collect the car, invoice, done. Whereas now it's like taking them through like the story of what we're doing to the car. We can often video it. We send like a video saying like, this is what we've done to the car. And it's really well kind of read by the customers, and they often see, oh, actually they're putting a lot of time in, especially if they understand the kind of complexity sometimes of car detailing, coatings and film.
What drives you every day to wake up in the morning?
That's a tough one.
Come on, man, you got your own business.
What drives me every day? So I love the unit, obviously. I like coming to work. I do need to change the environment up a bit more just so that you're staying motivated. But every day, I read basically statements. They're basically tell yourself how great you are, that kind of thing. A lot of people see that as completely vague. I wouldn't.
What do you mean, like horoscopes?
So basically, from business coaching, I learned this. Basically, say like what you're grateful for in the morning. And say like I am. So you're kind of setting off the day with what you are as a person. Setting off as
positivity, isn't it?
Definitely, and like keeping I am going to have a great day today instead of kind of waking up and feeling negative. It's often quite hard to do, and a lot of people say that's so like weird, but trust me, try it, and it's like, again, game changing.
Keeps you in a good mood for the whole day.
Yeah, so I'd say in the mornings, obviously, just being grateful for what you've got. Never look too far forward. Just kind of sometimes look in the past and bits like that.
Just to look how see how far you come.
That's it. Yeah, try and take things positive and good breakfast and bits like that. Head to work and crack on.
Okay, so working in the field that you're in, which is essentially the detailing car.
Yes.
What are the pros and cons to working, and how do you find it working?
Sure. So there's a lot of pros and cons, like you said. You could list loads of cons, but take the pros. Look at the positives always. Look at the negatives. See how you can kind of evolve from them. Like I said, I had that weird period of anxiety and kind of head stress and bits like that, all different things. That was a con. So for example, like these are people's pride and joys. That's like someone's hard earned £175,000 Aston Martin. When they drop it off, they are expecting you to work on it and do a good job and not mess it up. And a lot of people won't like mention things like messing cars up, but I did actually see something from Yanamars. I thought it was really professional how he said in the Q&A that one of the problems they had once was they cracked a window or something, and they're telling their clients that. I think it's really important. So we've never had shady about major, it. Exactly. It's not saying we are 100%, because if you say you're 100%, you often aren't. So there's often bits here and there. But in regards to the pros of the field, you can meet some fantastic people. Some of my closest mates and stuff I've met from doing cars, track days, bits like that. I'm not novice, but I've only been to one. But you meet some cool people and bits like that from there.
Yeah, no, you can imagine.
Meet some cool friends and people in the industry. So, for example, I like going up to Scotland and going out for dinner and stuff with Craig and learning about the new coatings and bits like that. So they're the pros that I take. I don't tend to dwell too much on the cons. Like I said, obviously these are people's pride and joys, so you've got to take care of them. You can't be blasting up the street in a nice Aston, but keeping it safe, kind of moving it safely, all those kind of things. That's not a con. I find that a positive. But cons wise, it can be tough. There's a lot of people now doing detailing, but often there's quite a lot of pop-ups that are just like 1 year, 2 year, and then go on to something else. So just kind of keep going, really.
There's a lot of people that come and go, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. And there's no disrespect to that. I almost came and went from like 2013 to 15 when I decided to almost give it in. So there's definitely no disrespect to that. But yeah, just make sure you are looking. At the end of the day, business is a competition, so you're not going to be like try and be down here. You want to be at the top, and being the most well known, so that when car detailing comes into someone's mind, it's why hasn't it gone to AWC? So that is a vision.
Why hasn't your car come to AWC?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing.
Alright, Alex, I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you very much for coming down. No worries at all.
So if you guys want to see Alex, you can look at his website, look at his Instagram. We'll drop it here as well as in the description box as well. Where are you located again? Just for people to see?
We are in Southend-on-Sea, so we often do, if you want to drop your car down, free, obviously, train stations and bits like that nearby, so we always drop people down there, an hour from London, nice and local.
Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and also give me your feedback as well. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well, which we've now got. So whenever we've got people coming in the future, be sure we'll put that on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll also have Q&As with them like we did with Alex today. So yeah, thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. That went really well, I thought.
Thank you, man.